Well, Charlie was my little brother. And then when you get to that point in life where he becomes much bigger than you, I remember a story one time where he came home. We were visiting, and I don't know if you were there or not, Donnie, but I was being the pesty big sister because he was so much bigger than me. And he came home. I'm like, come on, let's play. And he didn't want to play. So we were kind of like, you know, wrestling around or whatever. And he goes, no, I want to cook some dinner. I'm like, no, play with me, play with me. Do you remember that, Donnie?
Vaguely, yeah. When he
So
was cooking the steak,
he what?
when he was cooking the steak and you wouldn't leave him alone.
Yeah, yeah. I was being very pesty, and I grabbed his leg down below, by his shoe and tugged on me. He said, Tam, if you don't stop it, I'm going to go throw you in the snow. I'm like, oh, then we'll play. Yay. So, of course, relentlessly, I made him pick me up and take me and dump me in the snow. But he was like that, very fun loving and very like loved to cook. He was just a really beautiful heart, beautiful soul. Yeah.
He was always into cooking. I remember there's pictures of gingerbread houses he made for school projects and such, but he had applied for the Culinary Institute of America in New York City. And I don't know if you know about all these stories or not, but anyway, he applied. This is after he graduated from high school, as I understand it, and didn't hear anything back, and he was getting frustrated. And I think mom said, well, give him another week, because he'd made up his mind that if he didn't get into that culinary school in New York, that he would join the Army. And so he didn't hear back from him. So he decided to go ahead and enlist in the Army. And before he could even get to boot camp, he was finally notified that they accepted him at the Culinary Institute in New York. But he said, well, I've already enlisted in the Army, and there's no turning back at this point. But they agreed to keep that position open for him after his hitch in the Army. So when he finished his service with the Army, he came back to Vancouver and was getting ready to start the next semester at the Culinary Institute in New York. But unfortunately, that was interrupted.
I think he was just a all around kid. Like he was a good-hearted soul. Everybody loved him. And in that article, the last thing that was said was, who would want to kill a nice guy like Charly Richards? So I think he was just, he went to camp and he did all the grown-up things, and he was very well loved and very normal, childhood, I guess. And so I think just, it's unfortunate, but it could just happen to anyone. My husband asked me about closure. That would be nice to have the closure. And I think maybe it would, I don't know. But for me, it's like I said, the damage is already done. It's been 32 years and you just can't bring that back.
Yeah, he's been gone longer than he was alive. It really messed me up because at the time in my job, I would every week have about a 6-hour drive to go to a class I was teaching. And it was tough. But over the years, time heals all wounds. But yeah, I would certainly like to see the perpetrator caught for sure. But yeah, I'm kind of with Tammy. I mean, it is what it is, I mean, it's, what are you gonna say,